There we go. There we go. Are we live? We are live and the sound is on. Hey, welcome, welcome, my friends. Welcome. It's been a long time. No see ya. No see ya. It's your friend Coach Jay here with you. And let me see if I can get this party started up here. There we go. All right. So, welcome to the Coach Jay Show podcast. I am your host for the show, and you are my favorite people. Okay. You're my favorite people. Why? Because you're people who desire to grow and aspire to make a difference in the lives of other people, and you're my kind of people, right? So I'm glad you're here. So it's been called what we call down south a minute since my last broadcast. It's been a phenomenally and incredibly busy time since my last show. There's been a lot been going on with us at Golf Enterprises, the parent company of this show, and so I'm going to share some of those with you. So back in August, we went to the International Maxwell Certification event down in Orlando, Florida, that's held every 6 months by the John Maxwell team. And that was in Orlando, and it's going to be going up in Dallas next time. We got there a day early for what they called Think Tank Day and learned so much from so many professionals from around the globe on aspects of business building and leadership development. And then we got to hear from our leaders on the team, such as John Maxwell, of course, Chris Robinson, Mark Cole, Valerie Burton, and several others as well. And also, Katrina and I both had the opportunity to serve more than 3,000 members during those 3 days in different capacities. We met a lot of people. We made a whole lot of more friends, and we got to see some old friends too. It's always nice. It's like a family reunion. On the third day, we attended the Live to Lead Leadership Conference live. And during that event, we learned invaluable lessons from the likes of John Maxwell himself, speaking again, who is the author and leadership expert in the world and our mentor. Mark Cole, another mentor of ours, is the CEO and owner of the Maxwell Enterprises. Tiffany Bova was one of the speakers, and she's one of the top 50 business thinkers in the world, as well as an author and a motivational keynote speaker. Craig Rochelle, the pastor of Life Church, leadership expert, founder of the YouVersion Bible app, and incidentally, our pastor. So that was pretty cool. And finally, Jesse Cole, founder of the Savannah Bananas and Banana Ball. And let me tell you, Savannah Bananas, oh my gosh, I've heard of them, but I didn't know of them completely. And at the event, we got to meet and we got to see Jesse Cole speak, showing up in his classic, famous, very well branded yellow tuxedo, yellow tux, yellow hat, yellow shoes. Everything was yellow. Everything was yellow. And yellow's a very good color. It's a positive color. It's a happy color. So we got to see him, and that was probably one of my most. I'd say that's one of my favorite parts of the whole event. So we got to learn a lot and bring home so many valuable resources and experiences that we want to pass those on to you, our followers and our fans of the show. So speaking of Live to Lead, Katrina and I, we actually have the license for this event, and we're going to be hosting 2 leadership conferences in Springfield, Missouri, which I will be sharing more information about that later on in this broadcast. In other news, we celebrated a really big birthday over the weekend. Katrina turned, I'm not going to tell you, but we had a full house of family coming together to give Katrina a surprise birthday party. And she was so surprised, so surprised. We had catered in our food. Her sister Mary bakes cakes. She made an incredible cake. Incredible, so beautiful for Katrina's birthday. And the kids and the grandkids, which there were many, got involved in decorating the house to the max. It was amazing. All the while that morning, I took Katrina out for breakfast, did some shopping and a trip over to Starbucks until our daughter Sarah let me know that it was good to bring her home. When she opened the door, came in, everybody was standing there with kazoos and noisemakers and shouting happy birthday. To say that she was overwhelmed, well, that'd be an understatement. It was absolutely incredible. So that's kind of what's been going on. That's what I've got to share with you today so far. So today I want to share something with you on the topic of laziness or something else? Is it laziness or is it possibly something else? And that's what we're going to share with you today. So, are you ready? All right, let's get this started. Okay. Laziness or something else. Sometimes we find that we're not exactly where we want to be. We're not exactly as far along as we want to be. Sometimes we even find ourselves stepping away from the things that we're supposed to be doing or that we want to do. Even the things that can inspire and motivate us. Sometimes we just don't have that energy, or sometimes we just don't have that drive and that motivation to get up, get out, and get at it. Speaking of, you can go to getupgetoutgetattit.com and order yours today. That's a shameful little plug. And so, but there are many things that has to do with why we don't accomplish the things we want to do. And it's not always that we're just lazy. I want to talk about this a little bit because we really confuse sometimes laziness with other things. So why are there some people that are more consistent in their pursuits than others? And what are some of the causes to a person being inconsistent at times in their own pursuits and goals and their aspirations? Is it more than just being lazy? And I think it is. I think it is. And here's what we got. Consistency in pursuing goals can stem from a variety of factors, including personality traits, motivation, environment, and external pressures. And so here's some reasons why some people may be more consistent than others, okay? And this is something that you want to think about. So these are some things that you may need to acquire in order to overcome the quote unquote laziness. You got dreams, you got big goals, and you sit and you wonder one day, I had these incredible dreams. Why didn't I make it happen? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, and it's not just that you're lazy. Okay, so you need to adopt some things, some behaviors that others that are pursuing. Now, I want to share with you this too. Even the most driven person can have their days of laziness, can have their days of where they just aren't really feeling the motivation. They're not inspired, but they have to get that way. You've heard it said, you can't wait to move. You've got to move. You can't wait to feel like moving. You can't wait to feel like doing the thing. You got to do it, and then the feelings will come along. Many times we hold ourselves back because of feelings. We don't feel like doing something. And I want to encourage you, don't wait for the feeling to do something. Do something, and the feeling will appear. So here are some reasons why some people seem to be a little bit more consistent. Okay. And consistency is a key word here too. It's not an easy word. It's not easy to do, but it must be done to achieve what you want to achieve. All right. So number one, discipline and habits. Disciplines and habits. If you're taking notes, this would be great. If you want to record, fantastic. You want to come back and watch this, you can do that. Speaking of, if you scan that QR code right there, you'll be able to go straight to our YouTube channel if you're watching this on social media, and subscribe to that channel. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to get that duck out of there, okay? We are hosting this on the StreamYard platform. If you want to know more about that, let me know. It's a fantastic platform, and they're constantly improving it. And they even added, I gave a suggestion. This is a side note. Or sidebar. I gave a suggestion to them one day. They had notes on there. You could take notes, but you're looking off over there to the notes. Now, I am looking at notes for some of my talk right here. My notes, okay? But they finally, and I said, why don't you guys put a teleprompter and put it right in front so people could read it? They finally did that. So the introduction of this, I was playing with it. The introduction of this, where I was telling you about the IMC, what was going on in Katrina's birthday party, I put that in there in their teleprompter, and it works fantastic. So it was great. But anyway, the other thing they did, they put QR codes. So there's a QR code up there to the right here that takes you straight to our YouTube channel. And yes, and I have another QR code I'm going to show later, but that's for our conference. All right, so let's I'll just leave that up there for you. Okay, so let's see. Okay. All right. So Discipline and habits, back on track here. Individuals who cultivate strong habits and self-discipline tend to be more consistent. Now, I want you to, keyword here, cultivate, develop. We don't all naturally have a tendency to be motivated. We don't always have a natural tendency to have strong habits and self-discipline. You got to cultivate this. You got to build this. You got to develop this, and you can do these. These are learned traits. Some are born more with greater gumption, I guess would be a good word. Not everybody. And so, but you can learn this. You can develop this. And so these folks may have routines that support their goals, making it much easier for them to stay on track. Routines that support their goals. That's alignment for what they want to achieve, and alignment for their aspirations. Okay. They develop routines that align with their goals. If you are doing things that are not in alignment with what you want to achieve, you may need to reevaluate that and say, what am I doing that's taking me away from what I want to achieve? That's keeping me from what I want to achieve. The second thing is clear goals. You got to have those clear goals. Everybody has a goal, but do they have clear? Or do they have absolute clarity on what their goals are? I have spoken to many people. I have coached many people. I've mentored many people that really, they had a goal, but it wasn't a goal. It was a pipe dream. It was a pipe dream to achieve something, but they never truly had a goal set. A goal is an intentional plan of action with steps and processes to get you there. Okay. And so you got to have clear goals that are set in stone. Now, I say set in stone. Sometimes you do have to make adjustments, but you have to keep the goal in mind. Remember, the way to get there might be different, but the destination remains the same. Okay. So people that have a very well-defined, achievable goals are more likely to stay focused because they don't allow distractions. Clarity can help maintain motivation and direction. Number 3, intrinsic motivation. You know, I talked about that a moment ago. Some people are just naturally have a natural passion and a natural tendency. Sometimes, but a lot of times they don't. And so what happens is the more you do a thing, the more you want to do a thing. Okay. The more you do a thing, the more you want to do a thing. If you don't want to do the thing, start doing it and the motivation will appear. Motivation, comes from movement, okay, and momentum. Momentum comes, and I said it's motion, momentum, and then motivation. There it is, the big mo. I call it the 3 mo's. A genuine passion for pursuits can drive consistency. When someone is deeply interested in what they're doing, they're more likely to stick with it. If you are passionate about, say, play the guitar, you love the guitar, you're going to pick that guitar up every chance you get and play. Okay. But if you want to learn the guitar, but you're not really that invested and that passionate about it, you'll pick it up once in a while. Okay. So intrinsic motivation, developing that within. Number 4, support systems. Support systems. Having, and I can't emphasize this, you need a strong support system. Having a supportive network of friends, family, or mentors can encourage consistency. Social accountability can be a powerful motivator. Okay, so support systems, accountability, sharing what you want to achieve with others makes you more accountable. Share it with somebody outside of your inner circle. Share it with somebody out in the world, because this holds you accountable. You know, I've been stating that I'm going to finish a book. I've got a few books I'm working on, but I've been posting that. I've been sharing, things that are going along with the books that I am writing. Okay. I share that because it holds me accountable too, to work on my books, to get these books up and out. Okay. So I have more than one book project happening too, actually, right now. All right. And number 5, resilience. One of the other things that more people are more consistent about achieving their goals is resilience. You have to develop resilience. Some individuals possess a high level of resiliency, allowing them to bounce back from setbacks and stay committed to their goals. Some people don't have a high level of resiliency. In other words, they will give up at the first obstacle. They will give up at the first challenge or the first rejection. Okay. Sometimes people do that. They can't handle rejection. Listen, my folks, I want to tell you, in anything, in everything worth achieving, worth going after, there are going to be great levels and great opportunities, many of setbacks, rejections, disappointments. It's going to happen. Okay. What you've got to do now is prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. And how am I going to handle this when it happens? You know, in the military, we learn how to handle a situation before the situation appears. We learn how to handle a firefight before the firefight appears. We learn how to handle these things because we're constantly growing in our mind and training and properly. You know, the mind doesn't know this difference between what's real and what's not, right? You've probably heard that. The mind itself can create stories that the body and the brain starts to believe and process. So if you start in your mind, start training for those opportunities. When this happens, this is how I'm going to respond. So that when that opportunity presents itself, you have a tendency to know what to do. So think about that. And when you know that you're going to get rejected, we are out right now. I have a book here. We are out right now, bada bing, bada boom, with our Live to Lead binder. This binder right now has lots of information in it, including contacts of organizations, company organizations, for sponsorships for our events, right? A lot of people say no. Guess what? If you say no, that's okay. I say, so what next? So what next? In fact, I keep feeling like there's a spider web or something on my ear. It's probably a weird hair. But if we gave up when they say, no, I'm sorry, we're not interested, we would never achieve anything of greatness. And we truly desire to achieve a level of greatness, not for our own sake, because we know that we are fine. We're good to go. Financially, we're good. Family, good. Homes, our home, our car, we're good. You know, it's not like we need money, but we also know that we have too much to give to keep it to ourselves. And so we are growing and we are learning. So as we are receiving these no's, we know that there's going to be a yes. We don't camp out on the no's. That's developing that level of resiliency that successful people achieve. That level of resiliency that you can achieve. It is a learned behavior. Many people have a high level of resiliency. Many people have a low. Let's get you there to the high. Okay. So that's what I got for you. There's also other things, and I'm going to run through these really quick with you. The flip side of inconsistency can arise from various causes beyond just being lazy. Now, here's some things that some other things that we might think is being lazy. Now, I just told you how people that are consistent, what they do, and you can do this too. Now, let me share with you real quick how people that lack consistency can mistake this for laziness, and many times it's fear of failure. That's one. Fear of failure. There we go. Anxiety about not succeeding can lead some people to avoid fully committing to their goals, resulting in their inconsistent efforts. Fear of failure. What if I fail? My answer to that, which is a question, what if you succeed? What if you succeed? Number two, overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed by the scale of a goal or the steps needed to achieve it can cause individuals to procrastinate or abandon their pursuits. I've coached many, many people, especially with the Maxwell team. One of my gigs is that I get to onboard and welcome new members to the team. And I always leave my contact information so that they can reach out to me if they ever have questions or concerns or just need a thought partner. And many times they'll say, Jay, I'm overwhelmed by all the resources. Absolutely, you are. You know why? Because you're jumping into a swimming pool, okay? Or maybe better, you're jumping into the ocean because there's an ocean full of valuable resources and support that you get to have and possibilities. What you need to do is dip your toe into the pool and then get in the pool and swim in the pool. Don't worry about the ocean, okay? And so many times we are overwhelmed. So we have to step back and say, what is the one thing? One is a powerful number. Matter of fact, that's one of the themes for our conference coming up, the Live to Lead conference, the 1 degree difference maker. Okay. So overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed by the scale, lack of clarity. We talked about that a moment ago. People that are consistent, that are successful, they have greater clarity. You may lack clarity. So how do we get that? Well, I'm going to tell you, getting a coach helps you to narrow that down. Getting a coach helps you to develop that clarity. You got to have clarity of purpose, is what I like to say. Clarity of purpose, clarity of intent. You got to have a clear picture, and then you got to start developing the strategy and say, okay, step 1, this is it. This is it. Step 2, this is it. You got to have that strategy. I work best when I have a strategy. Life circumstances, okay? Sometimes external factors like personal issues, work demands, or changes in life circumstances can disrupt your focus and cause you not to be as committed, okay? Life happens, my friends. Things are going to happen. Sometimes you do have to just stop off the highway, get into the rest stop, and do what you got to do to prepare. Do what you got to do to prepare to get back on the road, okay? Things are going to happen. Number 5 is burnout. A lot of people reach this. You work so hard, you do, and keep doing with no rest, no relaxation, no coming back together and just bringing yourself back to a centered level of peace. There's the burnout. Pursuing goals without adequate rest or balance can lead to burnout, causing individuals to withdraw from their pursuits. Now, I have experienced this myself. I had great goals, great aspirations, working hard. Sometimes I would just withdraw because I was too overwhelmed. I got overwhelmed and I didn't know how to handle it, and I had to stop. I had to pause. I had to meditate. I had to assess the situation and rest, relax, take some time off, and then re-engage. And finally, changing interest. As people evolve, their interests and their priorities may shift, leading to inconsistency as they reassess what they want to pursue. We all go through life change. I have had many interests in my life. Matter of fact, one of the things in the chapter of my book talks about a thing called, I forgot what it's called now. What is the term? There is a term for something that I'm writing on, and I'm going to be sharing that very soon. It is when you have more than one thing going on, and you just keep striving and keep doing that. Let me turn that off. That's driving me nuts. But not that talk. I've got to share it with you because it's an incredible word. Multipotentiality, and people that are called multipotentialites. Okay. This is a new word I just learned, and I happen to be one. Okay. You are probably that as well. So that is something to think about. You're changing interests constantly and you want to grow and develop, but you kind of go from one to the other to another, and you don't really get perfect or great, I should say great, at the one thing. And that's a talk for another day. So that's what I got for you, my friends. In short, laziness can play a role. Inconsistency is often a complex interplay of psychological, environmental, and situational factors. So it's not always that you're lazy, it's that you've just got all these other factors going on. Go back, listen to this again, push pause, concentrate, meditate, think about it. Am I being lazy, or do I have these factors keeping me from pursuing my goals? And I can promise you, one of these is going to hit home with you. And when you focus on that, say, I need to focus on this. I need to work on what makes a person consistent. It's what we talked about before. And what are the factors that's keeping me held back? All right, my friends. All right. That's what I got for you today. Hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to click the link up there. Oh, also, bada bing, bada boom. Let's go on down here. The leadership conference here. Let me just post this image up here for our promo. There you go. You see that right there? There's our promo. Now, this is for This is a private event for our military, actually. So this one we're actually hosting for military retired veterans, active duty, and their family members in the community of Springfield, Missouri. So that will be held at the Warrior's Journey on the 21st of November. We have a public one coming up in January. That will be January the 7th. Let me post and the QR code up here at the upper left, I think it is. That will take you actually to our events page on our website. So if you're in the military, you're a veteran, active duty, or you have a family member and retired military, click that. If you're in the Springfield community or in surrounding communities, come check us out. We will be hosting. These are our simulcast speakers, and then you've got the lovely Miss Katrina Goff and Sergeant First Class Retired James Goff. We will be your host, and we will also be speaking as well. And this QR code in the middle of that screen, too, will also take you there. All right, my friends, God bless each and every single one of you. I'm so glad that you came on board and part of this. So I thank you, and we will talk again soon. Until then, don't forget, get up, get out, and get at it.